the song they mistook for war. To you, it meant war. To us, it meant welcome. We had waited 3 centuries for a signal, any signal from the stars. Silence had hardened into ritual, patience into prayer. Then the humans arrived, and their coming split the quiet like lightning striding an ocean. Their ships bled light, not flame, not weapon fire, light shaped into words. Beams carved the dark in patient hieroglyphs, flaring on our twin moons, dying across wet cloud bellies. We did not understand the script, but we knew the posture. It looked like devotion. We answered in kind. Our voices rose into the thin air, harmonics pulled from the ocean towers of Kethra Prime. Millions lined the water bridges and storm balconies, throats tuned by generations of quiet. When human light touched our seas, we sang. They did not understand. The fleet, wrapped in its algorithms of caution, read our harmonics as focused assault. Their counterfire sketched white arcs across the night. Thousands of us became mist before our second verse. The surviving ships held position, triumphant and afraid. They believed they had survived an ambush. We believed we had slain our gods. After, they tried again. Slower, smaller. They learned our language not by lexicon, but by grief. They combed through recordings, mapped the shape of our throats, measured the acoustics of ruins still warm. When they spoke again, their message came as sound, rough, broken, human sound. I was a student then, a chronicler of failed myths, too young to have sung the first song. I remember the first broadcast the interlingua array could carry. "We are sorry. We didn't know you were singing." Our elders replayed it 1,000 times, first for mourning, then for disbelief. Then, slowly, as a kind of worship. Our skyburners had learned our words. That was not conquest. That was penance. Over decades, they rebuilt what they had shattered. Not perfectly, human hands are stubbornly asymmetrical, but with an honesty no empire could counterfeit. They seeded our oceans with makeshift light towers, fragile scaffolds that failed each season and were raised again. Every night, they turned them on and sang through them. Their harmonics were wrong, too sharp, too hurried. But there was feeling in the dissonance, not our resonance, but something fierce and wounded and determined to be understood. We adjusted. We bent our chords toward theirs, shaved our intervals, learned to love their rough edges. It was the only way to harmonize. That was our first surrender. There is a human proverb that became sacred to us. Apologies are the architecture of peace. We made it literal. We built temples in the shape of their words, arched syllables of glass and metal suspended over water, halls of consonant and vowel. When the wind threaded their corridors, the building sang. Human children grew among us, lungs tuned by our air, laughter ringing in our coral domes. We thought the union durable as tide. We were wrong again. It began with silence. Their fleet stopped singing. At first, we mistook it for a ritual of mourning. Then the news. They were dying. A plague of their own making, born of the world they had fled, now consuming them among the stars. The humans who lived with us begged for help. We gave what we had. We rewrote ourselves to cradle them. We remapped our blood, braided our immunities with theirs. We became their cure. An adaptation, like forgiveness, is a mirror with no end. By the time the last ship fell quiet, there was no them left to pull from the brink. The brink had moved. It was inside us. We did not become imitation. We became inheritance. Now, when we sing to the dark, our harmonics are half human. We use their stepped intervals, their impatient rhythms, their ragged grace. The young no longer remember which notes began as ours and which we accepted as gifts. And when others come, drawn by the flare of our beacons, they flinch, certain an attack is underway. We tell them again and again, it is only a song. Again and again, they do not believe us. Again and again the sky burns, and we rebuild. I am the chronicler of this cycle, the alien who cried for Earth. Every verse we keep carries their language, their mercy, their flaw. They called it music. We call it survival. If humans remain, tucked beyond the next spiral, hiding inside some quiet eddy of time, we want them to know, your kindness killed us, and it remade us. We forgave you. We made your final lesson holy. We will keep singing.